I would like you to, we're psychics, so yeah, I'd like you to get in touch with my past one. This is what I want, and in payment for that, I'll do a bit of plumbing for you. If we start looking at those sorts of things and moving back into that more community.
I think they have a barter, don't they have a barter card type thing that you collect coins or points where we'll exchange and you can buy barter points?
Yeah. Yep.
So I think that, other than that, I think the structure of... and people's belief systems are going to change a lot.
Most definitely, yeah.
I think their belief in one particular thing, such as politics or whatever, I think they're going to be a lot broader now rather than sort of focusing on one particular thing anymore. I also think we're actually struggling with giving birth to children. So our population growth is actually reducing rather than... And I think that's going to be an ongoing issue until they figure out another option externally from the body.
Yeah, sure. I mean, your listeners probably know because I've come in and done these with you before. I come from a very, very diverse background.
Yeah.
A lot of the agendas that are out there now is to actually cull the population. Now, like I said, from a scriptural level, 25% going out with this sort of plague. Also, I know that the higher-ups, if you like, have always focused on actually culling the population. They're saying the world is overpopulated, they're losing everything, they want to get a handle on that. What we're seeing is, honestly, can be a mass genocide. We're seeing people getting... sterilizations and that sort of thing. I mean, in Africa and those sorts of places, they actually started giving immunizations that would knock out sterility. So they actually started doing that to knock out the population, to be not overpopulated. So what you're saying about people not being able to conceive and those sorts of things not happening anymore, we really need to be aware of everything that we're taking in. Yeah. People will, I know, and it can get off the hook and it can be silly. People start getting into conspiracy theories with chemtrails and all those sorts of things. I'm not saying that it's not true. But
Probably a contributing. It could be a contributing factor, but we just can't focus on one thing because it's not going to just be one thing.
No, that's right. So we need to be looking at it as an overall, as you're saying, and really looking at how we as people and communities can be actually supporting each other in those things. A lot of people are reliant on, like you say, if there's an inability to conceive or there's that sort of thing has been hindered. Obviously, we now know, well, we go and we get IVF or we do this or that. Maybe we should start looking at our own research and looking at, well, what's my body lacking that my body needs?
Yeah.
Those sorts of things, getting down to a more natural, holistic view on things rather than what's the quick fix.
Yeah.
Getting into, and also looking at spirituality and what's going on in the body. Like I said before, have I told my body no for so long and now it's saying no? Start reversing that sort of thinking and do it on every level.
Forward thinking, I think, more so, thinking about your future, even education.
Yeah.
Education is really... I think the thought of education is really going to be online. So a lot of these manual labour roles that we're doing now will still be there, but not such a large capacity.
Yeah.
So I think people are going to be starting to prepare their lives for what's going to happen in 10 years for us. So let's focus on that and try and build that for us so that we've got that stability, that comfort. I mean, you don't need to have a massive house with 50 bedrooms and all these cars. Just how do I survive and have a good family life where I'm contributing and making sure that my family are being fed and that we're okay.
Yeah, I think that building into our families, building into our community, our friends, those ones that are close to us, is actually literally putting money in the bank.
Yeah.
Because you've got then resources to draw on, because you've got the youth, you've got all of those ones. So you're actually building into your future by building into your community and your family members.
Yeah.
Like I say, you can start to use buttering systems. My sons are right into, and he has been since he was very young. He's 13 now. Since he was 7, he's been very much into growing vegetables and that sort of thing. Now, that to me is just wise. It's something that he naturally loves, but it also builds into, I'm useless with that sort of thing. So I love the fact that he'll come to me now and say, oh, Mum, I've just got a good spinach, you can throw that in that. So it's great, but that means that it's cutting down on costs too, because he's doing it naturally and those sorts of resources are happening. So it is a very, very wise way to go if we can start drawing on each other's skills and that sort of thing and building in those sorts of things. Building into our relationships is like putting money in the bank. It really is. It's a lot more. It gives us a lot more stability going forward than relying on the monetary system or gaining in that sort of area.
Yeah.
You'd be gaining in relationship and those sorts of things.
So being rich within yourself,
Yeah.
not financially, being rich with love, because that's what we really need. At the end of the day, we seek to have that contentment, that companion, that family, that you could grow your own, carrots, exactly like you're saying.
And they've proven time and time again, medically, if you have a baby that has had no touch, no nurturing, those sorts of things,
Yes,
they don't survive.
Yeah.
But if they've got someone who's got that strong bonding, the touch and the love and that sort of thing, they survive and they thrive. We're looking at the same now. I have a bit of a problem with this whole isolation and all that sort of thing. People are passing away. They have all the resources around them that they need. I've seen friends, elderly parents and things passing away, literally from loneliness, from not being able to have the contact, those sorts of things. Once that's gone, I can tell you quite a sad story. We used to live in a suburb where my children would visit the elderly ladies next door every day. They built a relationship with them. Now we moved, and it's been 2 years, and honestly, we did say to them, look, we'll be coming around to visit you, because that become something they relied on. 2 years passed and we went in. I'm thinking, for us, we've been busy every day. Everything.
Yeah.
We went to see these beautiful old ladies, and they were weeping at the door, at the sight of the boys going to see them, literally weeping. And they were saying that they have been so lonely, incredibly lonely, because they've gone through the COVID period. Over that time we've been gone, there's been the COVID and all of that hit. People weren't coming to visit them. The fear was so much that their family members and that weren't able to go in there. There was restrictions and all those sorts of things. They've got everything they need.
Yeah.
The resources are there. They've got a beautiful home. They've got all of those sorts of things. But they were falling apart because they didn't have the human contact.
Oh.
Yeah. We're seeing that happening across the globe. They're saying that mental health issues have gone through the roof since COVID and the isolations and all of those sorts of things.
I think it's been a contribution of financial and a lot of breakups with families. It's been one of those times, it's either make or break times, loss of job, loss of house, loss of a lot of things, and it's just been a build-up of multiple things.
Yeah, and our world is designed as such. We're constantly entertained. You know what I mean? The world has distracted us in so many ways from the important things. Okay, so people who have got a good family life, but they've got a good job, they spend a lot of time at work, then it's a priority for them to go, you know what, I just want to go and relax after work, I'm going to go to the pub.
Yeah.
Rather than going home and spending time with the kids.
Yeah.
Now, It astounds me that over all those periods, they kept open those sorts of places.
Yeah.
Or they allowed them in. Whereas places where you would think would build the family were shut down.
Yeah.
They were completely and utterly shut down. It was designed in some ways to completely and utterly change our way of living.
It's true.
People will go to the gym rather than sitting at home and playing in the backyard with their kids.
I think the concentration really out of this whole podcast has been about what are our concentration, what is, what do you classify as being rich, which we discussed before. What is the richest moment that you've had? And it could be that one moment of spending that time with your one particular family member.
Yep.
That really enriched your life mentally, emotionally, and gave you the love and everything that you needed in that one event, or even multiple events that have impacted you, or something that's been impacting you throughout your life, such as materialism, which you were talking about. That majority of us have concentrated on that for so long. That has been the utmost importance, that we need to have this house, we need to have this wonderful car, we need to have everything.
And be entertained, like I say. We rely on now the new movies that are coming out, what's on TV tonight, all of those things, rather than actually communication and just getting in there and enjoying the people who are around us. Now, people will argue there's a lot of people out there that don't have someone. Well, shouldn't we be reaching out to them? Shouldn't we be giving them someone? Shouldn't we be building that community and making sure that everybody is okay at this point?
Gone are the times where going to the park, having a picnic, or taking the kids down to the playground, or actually just down to the local park,
Yeah, and you know what? Even just taking if you can't go out because we're on lockdown or whatever, get out a deck of cards, play Snap with your kids. Just do something that is going to engage them, that is going to spend time with them, and even so, bring Nan in. Yeah, Nan loves Snap. She knows how to play it. Just bringing those and getting those family moments happening, because they are some of the most wonderful moments we have. Yeah. That moment where we bought our new car and 3 months down the track it's lost value anyway, as soon as you drive it out. All of those things, they really don't matter.
Remember, I know this sounds really frivolous, but, just doing hopscotch, getting your chalk and creating hopscotch outside, or, like you were talking about gardens, create a garden with your children. Most of us rent at this point in time, but you can still create a little portable garden and build it yourself with your child. Take them fishing so that you can eat, I think a little child said to me, I want to buy a lamb and a cow, mummy, and it was like, where are we going to put it in our small little backyard? Yeah. But, again, it's just about kids being really self-aware.
And it builds into them as well, because, I'm sure most of your listeners have heard the saying, give a man a fish and he can eat, but teach him how to fish. He can eat for the rest of his life. Yeah. Those sorts of things that we're building into our kids, which honestly, to a large degree, are gone. Yeah. But building into them like that is the most important thing, and making sure that those who are elderly, who are in our family or community, that are actually getting that support and love, that they are having the connection, and dare I say it, it's not just a matter of we're not allowed. Yeah. We're not allowed. That as I go back to those elderly ladies that we saw, one of them was saying, look, I'm in my 80s. Yeah. If I die of this COVID, then I die of this COVID. She's an older lady. She wanted quality. Yeah. She wanted quality of life, not quantity. But because of the fears and everything that have been put on us, we're going, well, I don't want to go in there. But why aren't we thinking like that? Why aren't we thinking that these people are actually passing away from loneliness? They're going down because as soon as our mental starts to drop, our health starts to drop. And I think that's abundantly clear with what's going on in the world now.
Yeah. I know, guys, you're probably thinking, look, you're not talking about the spirituality stuff, but we really are, in a sense that if your mind is not clear and completely focused and you're not relaxed and have that ability to think outside the square, that's even us, well, as psychics.
Definitely. The humans are made up of 3 parts, spirit, soul and body. Yeah. Okay, if our bodies are unwell, then our psyche gets consumed with that because we feel the pain and we constantly focus on that. If our psyche is suffering, we can't listen to our spirit. Yeah. The same way it goes. Okay, so if we've got healthy in psyche and soma, or the soul and the body, then we are in a much better position to hear the spiritual. And rather than having the lower frequencies of pain and anger and fear, we're actually reaching up to higher things, which is love, contentment, satisfaction, all those sorts of things. If we're not well in our psyche and our soma's going berserk, whatever's happening there, then we can't actually reach into the spirit and actually be getting that comfort and getting that stability. So it's vitally important. It all fits together. If cars that are 4-cylinder can't run on 2. Yeah. Yet as man, we're going, well, you know what? I've shut out my spiritual because I'm so focused on the pain that my body is feeling. We're running on 1 cylinder. So we need to make sure that we're putting everything in order.
And focusing on the right things. So it's like, trying to put a body back together. You don't give the body 4 arms because you can't walk on, well, you could probably walk with 4 arms, but concentrating and focusing on what you need to do with the here and now of what is it that I need to better myself, whether that be spiritually, emotionally, how is my relationship reflecting on myself? Is it me that needs to actually work on this relationship with myself along with my actual physical relationship with somebody else?
A lot of the time, I find myself saying to a lot of people, you've got to learn to forgive yourself. Yeah. It's very hard to forgive others if you can't even start with forgiving yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
So some of the things we've done, they're stupid. Let's be honest. A lot of us have done stupid things. Yeah. Rather than focusing on that and beating ourselves up, we need to go, I'm going to forgive myself because at that point in time, that was what I had to do. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to forgive myself for that. I'm going to move on and start getting that more healthy view on ourselves. Yeah. Start to love self, and I'm not in an egotistical way and getting silly about it, but to have a love enough of yourself to have good, decent boundaries.
I totally agree.
Yeah, those sorts of things are vitally important, and they're vitally important to our spirituality.
And regardless of what happened in the past, of whatever situation, whatever it was, if you find that people are still trying to create that drama or affected by if it's an emotion, then really it's about you dealing with that individual emotion with yourself and